everyone. My name is Stanton. I'm a teacher at the Young Women's Leadership School of Astoria. I know some very familiar faces in here and some folks I have never met. We're coming together today to talk about rituals and particularly how social emotional learning is embedded in those rituals. And so as we go through the workshop, we're all here to help facilitate you through that. So I'm actually going to ask my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Ladies first.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Talia, Jaime. I'm a theater teacher at Renaissance High School for Musical Theater and the Arts in the Bronx. I'm excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Totton. I'm the Education Manager of Professional Development at Roundabout Theater Company, and I'm also very excited to be here with you all today. Listen, I mean...
So fancy. We're going to just ask folks to go around. You're going to just say your first name, any preferred pronouns that you've got so we can make sure to make a note of that. Neil's also going to check off your professional learning, like, you know, credits.
For your CTO.
So you know you got that. Yeah. And then I'm just going to ask you to make a gesture. I know folks are sitting. You're welcome to do it from the chair if you'd like to stand up. Just a gesture to sort of encompass how you're feeling this morning. It doesn't have to be multi-step or anything. I'll demonstrate. So my name is Caitlin. I use she, her pronouns, and my gesture this morning is this, because I just entered the 3rd trimester and I am feeling crunchy. So yeah, but it's okay. It's gonna be great. Do you mind if I pass it off over here? Go for it.
My name is Gretchen, and I'm losing my voice, so my gesture is. So, what a day to lose my voice.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
My name is Matthew. Pronouns are he, him. I think my gesture is like this, ready to learn.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm sorry, is it turtle?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. You got one for Matthew.
My name is Talia, and I am pretty awake, so my gesture.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I use she, her pronouns, and I just feel like all-encompassing.
My name is Robin, and my gesture is because I'm excited.
Beautiful.
My name is Jen, and I am feeling.
My name is John. I use he, him pronouns, and my gesture is this.
Great.
My name is Laura. I use she, her pronouns, and my gesture is this.
My name is Naima, she, her, and my gesture is this because my ankle is in excruciating pain.
Oh, sorry.
My name is Karen. My pronouns are she and her, and I am super excited about what is happening here today.
Beautiful.
My name is Bo. My gesture is.
Love a jazz hand.
My name is Mario, he, him, and I am okay.
My name is Matthew. Pronouns are he, him, and my gesture is because I'm feeling a little edgy.
My name is Luke. I use he, him pronouns, and my gesture is feeling calm.
My name is Michelle. Her, she, and I'm happy.
My name is Scott Hammond. I'm he, him. My gesture is.
My name is Sean. I guess he, him, and my gesture is just kind of feel like I'm floating.
My name is Tony Ann, and my pronouns are she, her. I actually was going to do the same gesture, but I'm going to add a yes, because I don't have to sit through a boring math PD, and I can be with you guys.
My name is Jonathan, he, him, and my gesture is.
We're taking that knowledge, we're bringing it in, yeah? Beautiful. So the next, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Hi.
Well, I already have my gesture. It's going to be one person, and my name is Charlie Nicholson. I'm a theater teacher at Gramercy Arts High School, and my pronouns are he, him. Nice to meet you all.
So sorry for almost skipping you.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So we're actually going to step into an activity that will require some movement. If movement is tough, if your ankle's hurting, like, do what you can. I'm going to hand it over to Neil. He's going to take you through this.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, so we are in a ritual space, and so I want to introduce you all to what I feel it's actually one of my newest favorite rituals. I actually learned it from a gym teacher, but I think it's very applicable to what we do in theater, and it is really about community building. So if you are able, please stand, push your chairs back. If your ankle is being sensitive, then listen, do what you need to do, because the other thing that I do want to integrate, though we are rooting this in SEL, I am really trying to be more and more mindful in my own facilitative practice of people's accessibility needs. So therefore, if, say, anything in this time when we're facilitating this, you need to take a step back, you need to sit down, you know, heaven forbid, if you get triggered, like, please do what you need to do for you, because that is falling under our first tenet of SEL, which is self-awareness. So you need to be aware of what's going on with you. Now, with all that said, now we are going to play a game that I love. It's called Have You Ever? This is me. It is real, real simple, and I'm going to come over here because I like to mess with the cameraman. I'm kidding, but I do. So, the way that the game works is I'm going to call out a prompt. If that prompt resonates with you, you are going to do, I switch my movement because we're at the YMCA. You're going to make a Y, and then you're going to come into the circle, and you are going to give energy to all of the people that share that prompt with you, like Talia and I are demonstrating right now. All right, so this first one is very simple, and I mean, I'm not going to generalize, but I think this one that was something that we all maybe have in common. So the first prompt is, have you ever read a play? Yay! All right, yes! Yes, okay. But again, I can't generalize. All right, so now we're gonna get into the real, let's have some fun. Okay, second one is, have you ever eaten a burrito for breakfast? Yes, there you go. Hey, there you go. All right, this one, third one. This is me. I take public transportation to work.
This is quieter.
I didn't say whether you like it or not. I didn't say whether MTA or Metro North or New Jersey Transit gets you to. That's another problem. Fourth one, have you ever meditated in the morning? There we go, all right. We could have done our quick. Okay, here we go. Next one is, this is me. I listen to music before my first class.
Yeah.
Woo. Hey, next one. Have you ever been late for work? All right, people on the side, I feel attacked. I'm not going to step out. I felt some judgment in the people that... Did y'all feel that judgment, or was that just me? I felt some judgment. I really did. I felt attacked. I thought we were all going to have that one in common. Wrong. All right, this is me. I have a consistent morning routine. Oh, I know, right? I know. It's okay. And the last one. Have you ever contemplated the value of rituals? All right, y'all, give yourselves a round of applause. All right, so that's the game. Obviously, we could spend the whole time doing this, but we want to get this floor open and get you to be thinking about. Now, I'm going to ask, does everyone in the room know the standard definition, or at least some form of a definition for what social emotional learning is? Yes? Okay, so we can just, we don't necessarily have to, you know, everyone doesn't have to necessarily speak, but if we can just offer some voices in the room to offer your definition, you can feel free to, you know, summarize what you see on the walls. We'll be getting to that later. But we just want to throw into the space, what is, from your lens, social emotional learning? Just throw it out there. We don't have to, you don't have to wait on me. Being aware. Yeah, go for it.
An important one would be for students to learn how to describe their feelings or talk to others about how they're feeling emotionally. That's the emotional part.
Empathy.
Empathy in general.
Empathy for others, having empathy, showing students how to care for others and care about others' emotional and self-awareness as well.
Yeah.
recognizing clues as to how you're feeling and how others are feeling as well.
I would have said using tools when your emotions get tangled. So what tools you use?
Being aware of what you bring into the room on any given day.
Say relating to yourself and others.
Self-expression.
All right, well, I'll go ahead.
Yes,
yes, I know, right. So, right. And the gag was that they were like, the speakers in your room play over there, but was like, they didn't say that the singing was going to be heard over here, but that's okay. It's a soundtrack. So, the standard definition, according to CASEL, which is the Collaborative Academic of Social Emotional Learning, is SEL is a process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, and establish and maintain supportive relationships to make responsible and caring decisions. So just thinking about that activity that we just facilitated, that ritual that we just facilitated, what are some elements from social emotional learning that you felt were embodied in that activity, if you felt any? Yes.
There's a sense of identity, who you immediately have something in common with in the room.
And this is not a test, so there's no wrong answer.
The language you used of "this is me" seems to like establish yourself and a sense of pride in what you are and who you are.
I like the gestures ritual that you did, where we go around and we kind of express how we're feeling based on just, making a gesture. I think that would be beneficial to the kids to just get that moment to really identify really how they're feeling in that moment and share that with the rest of the class.
We laughed about it, but comfortably disagreeing when people step in and don't step in, and then being okay with that and moving on.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, so one of the elements, or the three things for me, there is a book called The Power of Ritual by Casper ter Kuile, and he says that in rituals there are three important elements to keep in mind. One is intention, which is, I'm going to read, which is connecting with your authentic self, other people, nature, and wonder. Attention, which is using the six senses, sound, sight, smell, taste, touch, and intuition. And then the last one is repetition, which is basically what ritual is rooted in, which is consistent habits in order to really establish sort of a protocol, sort of so that students can feel grounded and sort of coming into a space, whether that's your opening ritual, what you're doing within your lesson, or your closing ritual. You want to sort of have a sense of familiarity in order for them to start developing that routine, that consistency that we all need within the theater, whether you're in front of the stage or behind the stage. Now I'm going to pass it on over to my colleague, Caitlin, to share it, take us to our next activity.
Absolutely. So our main activity today is going to sort of encompass you connecting with each other and having a moment to talk about rituals with the lens of SEL really clearly put in there. I think we all know about both of those things, but just having a moment to align them and make sure we're being intentional. So I'm going to ask you to just take a walk around the room. You'll notice chart papers, and as you walk, just be aware of your space, be aware of each other, and you're going to hear some music. You have to do a shoulder shimmy too.
Movement is optional.
Yeah. Freeze right where you are and find a buddy who's kind of close to you. It could be a group of three as well. So partner or group of three to adopt each other in. There you go. And I'm just going to ask, can you just talk to that, folks? where is ritual already embedded in your classroom? Where is it in your room? How do you see it? How do you use it? Go ahead and chat.
I am at a sixth grade school, and I always contribute to what challenge
and then we just do because I have different classes coming in.
Yeah, theater arts is very different. I was in the classroom.
Give me 1 second. Do a check-in question where they like throw a ball around. If they like seated, then we stand up. So we standing. Actually, pretty simple. Too. Copy high school.
Wrap up and just go check out another poster you haven't checked out yet.
You can thank your partner, continue meddling throughout the space.
Nice to meet you.
It's okay to finish your conversation. Find some new friends. I know, we're milling. I think everybody saw the posters already, so just find a new group. And this time we're just going to ask one of the elements. So you're looking around the room. These are the components of SEL. We're going to use the word component. I will accidentally say element at some point, but they're, synonyms in my head. But these are all the different chunks, the big chunks of social emotional learning. So which one of these would you like to bring into your classroom more, like, intentionally? Yeah, so you're just going to share that with the person next to you, and of course, why this element and what is important about it. It could be how it will improve your classroom, how you think your students might benefit from it, a deficit you're seeing in the classroom. So go ahead, find one that you think you might be lacking in, and out of, of course, we all try our best all the time, but one that you'd like to be more aware of. Go ahead.
Oftentimes, students participate in social issues and they're reluctant to really take initiative. That's why we are moving, first trying to talk to share with your partners instead of see that they're listening to their
Yeah, same. It's getting them
in my classroom, I emphasize self-management, responsible decision-making, and so just getting students to,
I was saying, we not want to force them into it, or want to say, pick which one you want, and if we have redundant groups in them, like just doing, you know what I mean?
Segue from this last question.
That's what I mean. Instead of being like, you have to go to something.
They're leaving you now, speak
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right, friends, can you take 30 more seconds to have your conversation?
A different lesson.
Yeah,
They brought in their own lesson plan.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And they're not even being rate. Lucky them.
Highly effective.
Tell me about it. Yes. What grade do you teach? Yes.
Can I just get a thumbs up if your group has had a chance to share and now you're just chatting? Just so I can get a read on the room. Beautiful. Can I get a couple of folks to just share one of the SEL components that they have noticed that they would like to be more intentional about? Just whatever the first thing was that you talked about.
We talked about responsible decision making.
Okay. And could you give me a little context?
Yeah, we connected that to personal responsibility, but also we were talking about this word influence and how one's personal choices have an influence for them, but also to the classroom. And that led us to thinking about including students in the lesson plan or in the rituals so they can use that influence and that social capital that they have in the classroom to then build the classroom culture and be leaders of that ritual. And then it feels like it's more theirs, so they're on the side of whatever the ritual is in the class.
Beautiful. Yeah. Did anybody else have a different component? Yeah.
Yes, the component that I shared with my group was social awareness. And the reason why I shared the social awareness piece is because at my school, we have so many different diverse cultures there. So I'm trying to get them to be more respectful of other cultures. And although we may all be different, we still have to be respectful of each other's cultures and where they're coming from and understanding. So I kind of infuse that as much as possible in my classroom, just so that they are much aware of their other cultures.
Yeah, there's so many things, right? And I really appreciate these conversations. We'd like to make them more intentional. So what we're gonna ask you to do is, based on whichever one of these you want to focus on, I'm gonna ask you to find a group. If the group is huge, we're gonna split you up just so you have a little easier time collaborating. But just go put yourself by the poster that you feel most connected to want to talk about more, to maybe get advice about. Yeah, maybe it's one that you don't do all that you could do with it.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Okay.
Beautiful. If the two of you are happy, I'm happy. Are you two okay here?
We're surely happy.
I think this is great.
Yeah, so we'll do boom. So we'll do 3 of 3 over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Why don't you get comfortable in sitting, and then I'll give you the instructions for what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So grab your stuff, grab your chairs, bring it to your group, get yourself settled, and then I'll tell you what's next.
Yeah, so we're gonna do 3 of 3. So you're gonna go into 3 groups over here.
Oh.
Yeah. So however you wanna, yes.
It could be 4.
Or 2 groups of 4. 2 groups of 4. Yes. However you want to devise yourself. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Yes. 4 and 5. Yes.
They're really exploiting each other. Neil, you're killing me with the musical theater. Let's just choreograph that song instead.
I mean, they don't typically start plays, so.
All right. So it's a really straightforward activity. What we'd like you to do is think of a brand new ritual, one you do not do in your classroom. Please don't rely on your current practice in terms of the activity. Let yourself have an open beginning conversation about how to intentionally plan a ritual with this in mind. So if I'm thinking about relationship skills, what can I ritualize in a classroom? Think of it even as this classroom. Like, let's say we all need some relationship skills work. What's a ritual that you and your group can develop together that's going to put that social emotional learning at the center of it? And remember all of the things that Neil was talking about a ritual. It's intentional, it's repetitive. What was the third one?
Intentional, attention.
Attention, right? You need it to be like gripping
Yes,
to some
so
degree.
focusing on the senses, whether that's sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, but also intuition. So it could be, you know, a mindful exercise to really get students to tap into sort of their inner landscape.
Yeah. Well, we're looking for something that is ritualized, so it's not just a game you play one time. We're looking for something you're like, you know, I could do this at the top of class every single day. I could do this at the end of class every single day. This is how I close out a lesson, right? We're looking for that kind of an activity. So you're collaborating on that. At the end, we're going to ask, well, depending on time, we may ask 1 or 2 groups to share and take us through your ritual. If we've got time, all of us will go. And if we're very short on time, we will do a verbal share out. We're just gonna kind of vibe with what you all need. Does anybody have clarifying questions? Oh, sorry.
And also, within your time, if you come up with your ritual quickly, feel free to like put it on its feet and test it out.
Absolutely.
Get up on its feet and activate it. You guys have space to explore.
Yeah, in my smaller groups, you can just grab us if you need extra bodies, okay? Yeah? Beautiful questions. Beautiful, we're around. Raise your hand if you need anything, okay?
Yes, 1 ritual per group. Yes.
Yep, just
so it's a collaborative, social element. Yes, ritual. Yes. And if you need writing utensils or index cards, we have those available as well.
I don't know if they just choose
each other. I really like how social is today, or so connecting with someone else. And I thought maybe since you mentioned that, like, what if they were able to sort of walk around the room at the end and then like say, I really like how you did this today. Another person, I really like how you did that today. And then just having opportunities for them to like sort of do that with each other, and then at the end sharing out with you like as a whole. So individual and then as a whole.
Like as a closeout activity?
Yeah, like a closeout. Like, you know, all right, we're going to do our ritual, we're complimenting each other, and then once we're all done doing that, then we kind of share out who we complimented. Something to that effect.
I wonder if it could be like, just to like offer slight changes to like have them, if you want to keep it random, have them pick like a popsicle stick. And then students need to know you try to ideally you get different kids with different gifts each time. And then they would quickly go to that person, share a compliment or something.
Right.
Or a word
Something
or
they
whatever,
noticed about them today.
and then bring them all back and say, all right, who wants to share?
That's funny.
And then that person writes it, crumples it up, throws it in the middle, and then kids pick it up and they say, oh, this is about Sarah.
So are they already writing the compliments, or are they only writing the name?
The name is on the sheet. We're making sure everyone gets a compliment that day. And then they get the sheet out of a hat or something, right? And then they pull it out and they're like, okay. I've already been taught that I can't be like, oh man, I got so and so.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say we're gonna have to
you have to establish, right? It doesn't matter who you have.
And what are compliments?
Right. Right.
Oh, your sneakers aren't right today. You know what I mean? Like that's not really a compliment.
Right?
Right.
And they write it down, and then they crumple it up like a snowball, and then everyone on the count of 3 throw it in the middle. 1, 2, 3. It all gets jumbled up. No one knows who gave the compliment.
Oh, okay.
And then one by one, the kids go into the middle and pick up their little snowball. They open it up and they say, "Oh, this says Justine. Justine, you are really smart." And then
okay,
and Justine's like,
okay,
you know,
okay. So we write the names on there from they pick out the ball random and they write them.
So the student thinks that, you know, he does the same thing in class, you know, just let him talk. I guess he wants to try to learn the language also, so that's another one. Not that he understands, but he's very, how should I say, he's very engage in class with what he understands to the best of his ability, right? So I'm trying to get him in particular to embrace his culture. Okay, I said, you know, you're fine, you're fun. You don't have to wear this little wrap. You don't have to put the hoodie on because that's what he just he came into my room. I said, it's really warm in here. You can take off your skull cap and you take off your boots and you're fine. Then he goes, so I guess he understood that. And I was like, it's fine. But you know, I think, like we're saying, a lot of these kids, they just want to feel that you understand where they're coming from, that they want to feel a part of it. And how do we make them feel a part of it? By making, right? Making them feel a part of what happened in the community. Exactly. Absolutely. So even for something like this, something the flag, if you know, like has on the back of that flag, let's say you do, like let's say you do flags, right? Yeah. You laminate them, the country on one side, the name of the country, and the flag on the back side. So whomever pulls from there, you already have the flags big and ready to go, waiting for them. Pull that flag, show, okay, today we're showcasing Japan, right? And we're gonna tell like the person who's in that class from Japan, they're gonna share things about their country. You could also just go to the next piece with it and have them talk about like a dish. What is a dish that they eat? And expose the kids to that. Like they have some pictures on there. I'm just, you know, just trying to come up with something that will show that you're
sector,
Sorry.
warm-up activity,
Okay.
warm-up, like, again, go back to the calming activity and the next
What to get you in a place where you're starting to really concretize what you want to share. So you've got 10 more minutes of this sort of good, we're hearing beautiful conversations, thank you. But just so you know time-wise, in like 10 minutes, we're gonna get to like the plan. So start shifting your conversation to that more actionable thing. Thank you.
Power hungry because what I do is give the students a lot of responsibility. So I have a chair, because I have to move chairs. I have a chair monitor. I have trash cleanup crew, and at the end they have to come up and approve the class. So I go, oh, HOA also, my chair crew leader, come up, do you approve this? And I find that putting the power into the hands of the students. Another thing I do, because we have to stand in active neutral in a circle, is I will not call on a student who is not standing in active neutral. So I'm always using positive reinforcement to, I don't know if that's self-management, to aid their self-management. So.
Yeah, I think, and sort of about what you were getting at, is I think the self-management is coping with not wanting to, right? And checking in, and don't want to be there today.
And not being actively against your classmates.
Right. And I think obviously every kid is different, and every classroom is different, but I think maybe there is room within that ritual for those schools to say, you know, how can I make today a better day? Whether it's by taking a step back, or for those days, you know, something where I'm doing the work but I'm not the center of attention, or a small, you know what I mean? Maybe that ritual has
Is there something we can take from everybody's ritual to make a ritual?
Well, I think we could go, for Tom's sake, I think we should go to the first one. Because I think it's
kind of like doing like choices.
Well, I think, well, what I heard was it's an opening routine. And so the ritual is using two senses, right? We're using sight, we're using touch, we're using writing. So we can kind of focus on those senses. But, yeah, they're coming in, and then there's a choice. And then they have to, they'll be given a little whiteboard or something to hold in, but whatever their choice is, they should be able to hold that up. And then that would be amazing ritual, because then you share, well, you can share all you can.
To write like a little poem for ourselves, it's like also I'm gonna go grab a next card.
Okay.
Say, this week
start, you know, maybe it's visual or maybe it is about the class and it's more general. And then as you get older, it can be about, oh, I really like when you did this, or like, you were funny today, you know, and then it's the same idea but different, it looks different.
What is something you like, or what was something that you tried today that you never tried before?
And the sentence stems are great. Like that's really something that they can look at and help them to scaffold.
Yeah, and even like I'm thinking, you know, for middle school or you know, 5th grade, 4th grade, you could introduce like categories of like instead of telling them talk about something you like today, you can talk about something you like today. You can talk about like an area that you thought someone else did well. You can talk about an area where you did well. You can talk about an area you want to improve in. So like different, they can take a little more onus of like what they're discussing in their story.
Every year is very precious. It's basically our anyway. That all I really liked. My favorite memory of theater class is and then went to one class. And then I told them across so that we could use and then when they're finished, I pick up the person that gets to keep. I have students from like middle school who's had some of it from like elementary. This one is 3rd grade.
I wouldn't do that.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. So we have about 5 minutes and then we're going to start sharing out.
Thank you.
It's such a good idea.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So we have about 5 minutes and then we're going to share out.
Couldn't be happier about that. Okay. Yeah, good.
Thank you. Read a language slash good morning in your language. We say that. We also said we were going to share. We said we're going to do the different countries. Right.
I just wanted to check in. Are you feeling good? Wishy-washy? You feel
You feel good.
You feel good. That's great. I'm just happy to hear it. I can't wait to see and hear about it.
On your ritual, feel free to activate it within your group. You know, a little rehearsal, if you will.
You know, they are coming up from the 7:40 to the 11:40, so they can arrive late. I wonder if you can give a responsibility to the first 3 or 4 students to create a daily pose that sort of represents caring or constructive choices, and then we match that with once the group gets there, like, okay, be rehearsing this like tableau because you're early. Although maybe it's the same students who are early every time. I don't know. But anyway, that aside, we have students doing some kind of like pose for the day that's different every day, and then we have the same like mantra or poem to go with it, like a tongue twister. And I was gonna look at that and say like, what if we change some of those words to keep the same rhythm, which is like subject, whether we're using
If you're just getting, if you're meeting with a different group each week, and that's your ritual, okay, you're gonna talk,
Right, that's how the right
Right, so you would have to do that.
Yeah.
They know what there's you have actually time then pick a number, give a compliment.
Right. Yeah.
I can get. Why don't I get you a big piece of chart paper? There are 19 people, 19, 20, 22 people in the room. The facilitators. If you're interested, really talk without me hovering over whether or not you want to do the thing, or if you'd rather just talk through it. And I can bring. Great. Then the bottom sheets paper. The big one. Yeah.
So that's kind of already established.
Papers and pens?
They don't want index cards because they have to crumple it up. So I told them to rip up.
We have the
Oh, dog.
Post-its.
Shush.
You guys are 1 minute?
I think you can incorporate it. Yeah, use whatever you have so that it's not an additional thing, it just kind of enhances what you're already doing. And if it's within that. If you make it a part of yourself, you're not gonna give up on it.
Very small, very small. You know, there's a lot of
Okay, that's what we do.
When I say hey, you say ho, hey.
Ho.
Hey.
Ho.
When I say yay, you say yo, yay.
Yo.
Yay.
Yo.
Awesome. So I'm really excited to see what you guys came up with. I heard a lot of interesting conversations. If we can just shift within our groups back into like a greater circle, you can kind of stay with your group, but just like shift your body if you're not facing the center. And we're just going to do a little share out of these rituals. So feel free to use the whole room as your participants and workshop this idea. And yeah, I'll let you guys take it away. So with each group who presents, just kind of let us know which competency that you guys are addressing in this ritual, and then you can take it away. Are there any volunteers who would like to go?
We'll go.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome.
Let's do it.
So we are doing relationship skills, and so
everyone needs a pen?
Yeah,
Yes.
but a lot of people have pens, right?
Okay. If you need a pen, then raise your hand. You got one. Anyone else need a pen?
So we'll just lead you through it the way we would our classes. Okay, so you could just write your name on the Post-it. You could write it at the top of the Post-it. And then we'll collect it as soon as you write your name on it. And then we'll put it into this hat that we have here. You would actually have a hat or a bag or something. Okay? And I'll just come around and collect it. And
Now, let's do improv. How about a gathering?
That's fine. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
We just putting it.
What do you got? There you go.
Thank you.
Emotions change.
You can hold it if you want, that's fine. You don't have to.
Popsicle.
Thank you.
And
Popsicle Sticks.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now we're gonna move this around a little bit. And then when I come around, you're going to take one out and you're gonna read the name to yourself, not out loud. Keep it a secret. And you're going to write one compliment for that person. So it doesn't matter if they're your friend, it doesn't matter if you've never talked to them before. What's one nice thing you can say about that person, okay? You don't even have to like that person, but figure out if there's one nice thing you can say. And then you're gonna crumple it up, and on the count of 3, when you're all done, we're gonna throw it in the middle like we're having a snowball fight. Don't throw it at someone, just aim for the middle. 1, 2, 3, and you'll throw it like that, okay? So here we go.
If we don't know someone's name, is it okay to
Yeah, we're just
clarify?
making it up for
Pretend
now.
that we're in the
Okay?
same class.
Oh, just pretend.
Like
Yeah.
we know each other.
Pretend you know everyone's name. Right, Billy Bob, whatever you want. Okay. Okay, sorry, they won't stick together. We're not gonna use Post-its when we do it, because that'll be a little difficult. There you go. And we don't have to go through all this. We'll just pretend, I guess, for now. Perfect. All right? And then you can write a compliment, something nice to say about the person whose name is on your Post-it.
Oh, wait, I think I got 2 by accident.
All right, when you're finished writing your compliment, just crumple it up a little bit into your little snowball, and then you can stick stand up. And on the count of 3, we're going to throw it right into the middle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. Now, one at a time, you can raise your hand, and you can go into the middle and pick up one of these, and you're going to read the person's name, and then you're going to read the compliment. Okay, so raise your hand if you'd like to go. Okay, you can go ahead.
Sean has great shoes.
Good, and now you're going to give that to Sean, and he gets to keep his compliment.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Great shoes, Sean.
Who'd like to go next?
Scott.
Where's Scott? Hi, Scott. You have a great voice. Thanks so much.
Okay, and so here we go.
Don't worry, cleanup crew is here. Don't worry, I got it. You're good. You're good.
That was really great. Nice way to validate everybody in the room. Compliments.
We will keep them all.
Yeah.
You have to find yours later and do your compliment.
Yeah, you'll get your compliment there. Yeah, really great group. Good job with relationship skills. I really like that a lot. I was actually just telling Neil that I'm gonna be doing some compliment ritual also, but I like this as a twist of a different variation of the one that I try to do in my classroom. So thank you for that. I'm gonna workshop that soon. Awesome. Who would like to go next?
Or do we want to stick with the relationship? We got another.
That's right. We do have 2 relationships. Yeah. Do you guys want to go since we're already on that competency? The second group. And you guys can have your seats. We'll wait for instructions.
So I didn't realize that we were gonna actually perform it.
You don't have.
You can talk about it if you're not ready to activate it. That's fine.
So we were saying as an ending activity, and we all teach different grades. Some are middle school, some are elementary. So kind of along the same lines of having, instead of having like partners, have a bunch of like groups. Like in my classroom, I have like 4 different color lines. I could say the red line, you group up, the orange line group up, so on and so forth. It depends on how you want to manage it, and then give them some kind of ending thing to talk about, either what you think you did well, or what something new you tried today, or I forget what were the other things that we had mentioned, the other categories, but to give them some kind of something to talk about with each other. Yeah. Or even if they saw something that they in someone else that they liked, or something they found difficult maybe, or whatever it is, but that would be an ending thing, whether it's giving them a choice of a prompt, or just give them one to talk about, just at the end.
And they're already in group, like they know how to group up.
Yeah, however, like in my classroom, that's how I would manage it, because that would be easy, because of the 4 different color, I call them performance lines. So, because they're in kindergarten, so by color. Yeah.
That's a great reflection ritual. A question, so after they talk in their groups, and do they turn out to the class?
Then they would, then if they wish to, they would share out. Thank you, I forgot that part. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was wondering how.
What do you do with it? Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's a great reflection practice at the end. That's awesome.
And this way, if they're in a group, if someone's shy, they may not have to speak, or if there's a language issue, that someone will be speaking, and then maybe someone will respond. Especially if it's even like the little kids,
And it's really great to get everybody to share, because when you're doing a whole class reflection, you might just hear the same voices, so it's getting everybody engaged and activated in the conversation. So at least everybody gets to share something with the smaller audience.
If there's no time to choose.
Very low risk. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Does anybody want to go next?
Wonderful. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm the teacher in this one. So good morning, class. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Wonderful to see you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so we're gonna see where people are feeling today. If you are feeling like being a director today, just listen before you move. You're going to stand by this big sheet. If you want to act today, you're going to stand at the middle sheet. And if you want to be stage crew today, you're going to stand at this sheet. Let's have everyone who's wearing black go to your spots first. If you're wearing something black. Yes, it'll be written. Sorry about that. If you want to direct, you're going to stand here. If you want to act, you're going to stand here. If you want to do stage crew, you're going to stand here. If you're wearing jeans and you're still sitting down, denim, you may go to your spot. If you are wearing sweatpants, you may go to your spot. Yes, you could move, yes. And if you are the most fabulous person in the world, and you're left, you may go to your spot. Okay, so good morning, directors. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, actors.
Good morning.
Good morning, stage crew.
Good morning.
All right, let's get started and see.
Yes. Thank you.
I love that. That's great. Self-management. Yeah.
Usually I do shake hands, but I have students that I figure I'll just do elbows because I didn't have enough time to say elbow or handshake because some students still don't want to do a handshake. My principal used to always say to me, there's some kids that no one ever greets them the whole entire day. So it's important to say good morning to every single student when they come to them. Because you never know, they never have anyone greet them.
And I just talked a lot about like choice and agency in the classroom and having the kids buy in to what you're going to do with them that day. So giving them that agency.
And this is it was a really great time to sit with this group because I really need help with that, with the management with that. Just having students sometimes you really don't know what students are interested in, and we just really talk, and it was very helpful to be able to do this today.
And giving them agency.
Yes.
And there were so many rituals within that ritual itself. There was a lot. There was like 3 or 4 that you could pinpoint. That was great. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. I believe we have 2 more groups. Yes?
Yes.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right, let's go.
So we didn't quite get to the activating part yet. Okay. So we're just going to go for it.
Yes, spontaneity.
Alright.
So we love everyone to jump up on your feet, or imagine you were coming into class for this 8th/9th grade classroom, what's our meeting point. And as we come into the class, we're thinking about this component or element, I forget what the word was, of responsible decision making, and trying to welcome students into the class into the role of responsible decision makers. So we thought it would be great to have a volunteer. I think Sean, do I know your name?
Yeah.
Sean. Okay, so Sean is the one student whose name I know so far this year. Sean, could you give us a gesture that we could form as a tableau with the whole class that shows caring, that we could all repeat? How do you show caring with your body? Perfect. All right, so can we all do Sean's gesture? You can step back into the circle, Sean. This is great. So as we hold this gesture, as comfortable as it is for you, do it for as long as you can, we're going to repeat this mantra that we have for the class. Each day we'll have a different student give a different gesture, but we'll do the same mantra.
So repeat after me. Whether we're feeling our, oh wait, no, that's the top one. Is this the first one?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are caring.
Okay, repeat after me. We are caring.
We are caring.
We make responsible choices.
We make responsible choices.
Whether we're feeling our best.
Whether we're feeling our best.
Or whether we'd rather just rest.
Or whether we'd rather just rest.
This is the deal.
This is the deal.
Through all that we feel.
Through all that we feel.
We'll be sharing and keeping it real.
We'll be sharing and keeping it real.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Great job. And now the class can start.
Yay! Have a seat. Physicality, it had a lot embedded in it. That's amazing.
Poetry, rhyme.
Yeah. And our last group.
The last group. Okay. So I'm just gonna sit because I know y'all tired of standing.
No.
we would have popsicle sticks representing each child in the class. Their names are written on the popsicle stick as well as their country's flag, right? So upon entering the classroom, after you meet and greet with your group, one student will pull a popsicle stick from that cup. That child's culture is showcased for the day, right? So there would be a choice board indicating what the child would be comfortable sharing, whether it would be hello in their language, whether it would be their favorite food from their culture, whether it would be an interesting fact about something of their culture. And you wanted to add another piece to it?
Movement or
A movement, yes. So that way, and she also mentioned that sometimes children are a little bit uncomfortable sharing their culture. Well, we said we would have their flag, all the kids' flags would be displayed around. That child would go up, show the country that they're from, because it's on the little popsicle stick, right? They would show their country's flag and then go into singing what they have to say about their country. And that way, if you do that on a regular, that child is going to become so proud of where he or she is from. And now your classroom is embracing your culture. So we're still working a little bit on it, but that's kind of where it is going, okay?
Yeah, it's a workshop space. It's a workshop space. Love that. Yeah. And a great way to include the culturally responsive approach to that as well.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, for sure. So before we transition into our closing, I just wanted to open the floor. Was there anything that you observed that resonated with you that another group did that you were like, oh, that's really great, I want to try that? Was there anything that kind of struck you that resonated from another group's work?
I love the reading of the compliments, especially because we talked in our pair about the interpersonal conflicts with students in our 8th and 9th grade classes. But with these compliment slips, you might have the experience where a student who has a little bit of an issue with another student is then reading them a compliment. So they don't have to come up with it, they don't have to necessarily mean it, but they say it. And I think it builds that sense of like, we as a group give compliments. Even if I've got a problem with you, I'm still going to read out a compliment to you. So it builds those bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like the mantra that that group came up with, or this idea of like a different way to start a class. I feel like I'm always getting hit with the like, your class should always have a do now, your class should always have a do now, and you know, that's very easy for academic teachers to do, but I've like become a little resistant to it sometimes just because like, you know, the way I like to start class can change based on what we're doing. But I do like this idea of like, we're entering the room and now we're in theater and we're all gonna like do this thing before we're ready to really begin. And now we're all on the same page.
Agree. Thank you. All right.
I enjoyed the mantra too, and it was making me think about how, you know, each day we do a warm-up, a vocal warm-up as well, and it usually rhymes, and I was thinking, you know, there could be more intention behind the choice that I make in terms of what rhymes I want to use, and I really liked yours because, you know, there's a reason, a real reason behind it for this class today, besides articulation and fun. It's, you know, the bringing the group together and setting the tone and the expectations. So I really want to try that.
I like this group. I like what she did. I thought that with that introduction, it kind of empowered the students before you started the lesson with them. So I really enjoyed that piece. I'm definitely going to use that. I'm going to steal that one.
I was thinking about realizing just about the CRSE component. In my school, we're very big. She doesn't want, my principal doesn't want to do like this month and or that month. She feels like everyone should be included every single day. So I'm definitely choosing that as well. So thank you, Shannon.
I felt like I would want to use every single thing everyone did, like immediately. But I loved what your plan, and I was thinking about how to like tie it to theater even more, instead of like the flags, I could have like a playwright with that cultural background with the flag under it or something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, one more.
I also like the mantra, and I'd like to steal it and get some more from you. So, yeah, I think sort of reflecting what he was saying, we do a lot of vocal warm-ups and tongue twisters, but I think this brings a whole other element to it, sort of an affirmation and a reminder that we have to work together as an ensemble. So I appreciate that.
I would love him to repeat the mantra.
Can we take a picture of the?
You might not be able to read it. I'll write it out in a better script, and I can give it.
I can also, if you want to give it to me,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
write
write
it
it
on
and
the
put
page.
it on the
Sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Here, give it to me and Caitlin, I'll do it.
So we're gonna transition into a closing ritual. So one thing that I have been trying to do in my classes is to end with the same ritual that I opened with. So we're gonna return to gesture, and I want everybody to now embody a gesture that kind of demonstrates how you're feeling after we took the workshop. Okay? I'll go first, and I'll send it around this way instead. To this, and I'm gonna take all these wonderful ideas and workshop them in my class.
I was just going to jump in before I transcribe.
I feel togetherness.
I'm feeling confident now.
Yeah.
I feel like doing chicken. I don't know why.
Ideas are flowing.
Awesome. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for playing and exploring with us today. I'm going to transition to Caitlin right now, and we're going to get into our reflection.
Yeah, so if you've ever been in any of these before, you know there's like a pretty set reflection protocol. And so it's a turn and talk. If you, you've been collaborating with the folks in your group, you're welcome to have this conversation in the same group. If you'd rather just chat with the person next to you, you can negotiate that with your folks. We're going to turn and talk for about 5 minutes, and you can pick whichever one of these is best. I know we did sort of talk about what struck you in terms of the rituals, but if there's anything else you wanted to chat about. The second one is what is relevant to your own teaching and planning. Again, we already are sort of naturally having that conversation. You can continue that. And also if you want to spiral out from that, ideate some more, knock yourselves out. And then what did you notice about how the presenters led or facilitated the session? Also, we are, I know the three of us are also very open to anything that you're like, hey, we actually get to teach this again today. There's something that you're like, we would love more of this or less of this. We'd love to hear that just for our own practice. So it's a turn and talk. We'll do 5 minutes of this, and then we're going to share out. We're going to go around. We'll whip around. If you want to pass, you can, or we might not even get to everybody, but that's sort of the format. So turn and talk, and then big group share. Have fun. We'd also like to take a picture of this.
You want to say that?
Yeah. If you want to turn and talk to somebody you haven't talked to, that's also great as well.
I'll take this section and transition between the three that
In a moment. What's the second question?
What's relevant to your teaching and everything?
Just teaching the younger kids, I think they like incorporating physical activities into whatever they're doing. And then the second half of this, but that one could be like a activity. So everyone reads every compliment.
pilot the workshop where you're creating ritual right open classroom. So I'm set in my mind, but then the possibilities of this sort of naturally gravitated to
Yeah.
Small stuff, but then try to relate to something adhering to the lesson, because that can be for next week. But right now, one of my noticing on my students that is not clicking, and it's relationship skills is not clicking right now, and I need to focus on that. And I feel like that should be a priority than the content, because if they are collaborative, if they are able to have strong relationship skills, then they are better able to collaborate.
Yeah.
All my life I've been
No, they're great. I know, it's my first one. Yeah.
January 30th. January what?
30th.
This is a 1-minute warning just for out loud sharing.
So are you
theater, you can teach theater to teach science, theater to teach math.
Say, because you said this before, it was like that she had an idea, and you were way over there, that maybe at the end of the class you could ask the students and you would change their minds, like while they were doing directing, did they decide at the end should have picked acting? Like a check-in of like if they changed their minds or how they were feeling, or if the activity in the directing track made them think, oh.
You know, I'm sometimes, you know, going and having sat through a lot of like general ed PDs where there's this idea that every, like, one model fits all. Right. And like, I'm always so frustrated with that because theater just like does not fall into that box of like, there should always be a do now, there should always be an exit ticket, you should always like do this. And that is true sometimes, but I just feel like it's very difficult to like conform to what an ELA class or a math or social studies does.
We'd love to hear some of what you're talking about. The reflection had a little transition because this wall is going to go away in a second. So over here, what struck you as a participant or a learner? Does anybody have anything that they would like to share out under that first one? Yeah, thank you.
I wasn't coming in here thinking about relationship skills, and it really started me thinking about, you know, how to build a more positive culture in the classroom between students, because that is always something that comes up every single day. At the end of the day, it's the number one thing that I think every teacher in the school is talking about. Whatever conflict happened between so-and-so, why does this keep happening? Why are there no consequences? All of that. And we were thinking just now about a reflection tool at the end of class, a ritual that the kids could do using the snowball activity, and letting the kids know at the end of these performances, these scenes, whatever it is the kids are doing, you as the audience children are going to be responsible for giving a compliment to one of the people. You don't know who it's going to be, but we were thinking it might engage them more, watching to know that at the end they're going to have to come up with something nice to say about one of those kids, whoever's slip of paper they pick up. So it might be more engaging for them. It'll help them practice giving feedback, and in a positive way, because they're very quick to say something negative, you know, and I think I definitely want to try this tomorrow.
Yeah, you're edging into assessment to some degree too.
Yeah.
Like you've captured something. If there was like a frame for skills in there too, I know you don't want to lose the compliment part, but you could absolutely use this in a bunch of different ways. So even just the ritual of it can be transferred between what you may need. Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. Anybody else have anything for what sort of struck you today as a participant or a learner? Yeah.
I would share what, could you tell me your name? Matthew said about the facilitation reflecting the idea of ritual. So from the beginning when we came in and also as we ended, you were using that ritual to give us a first-person experience of what you were speaking about. So we agreed that that was very effective.
Does anybody, I'll open it up to any of these. Does anybody, what was relevant to you, we talked about that. There's lots of bleed in these questions between that. Anything else? Yeah.
I always am thinking about myself and my students. So what's relevant to me, because I work in a school of new immigrants who are not speaking English, is the repeating the words. So I'm definitely going to incorporate a mantra.
100%. I have found that with my L's as well. It's like the most important thing I can do for them is just, there's no question after they figure it out. It makes them feel so safe because they know what's going to happen. Yep, beautiful. Anybody else have anything? You've done some beautiful sharing.
For number 3, I was thinking to them, I thought the 3 of you did an excellent job of passing the mantle, as we say, and really, I'm going to take this part, and you're going to talk about this while I do this, and it was very seamless, and it was very well done. And the energy that the 3 of you brought was all the same in terms of positive and supportive and generally productive. It was great.
Great, and thank you so much for that feedback. We appreciate it. I just wanted to reflect that right back to you. I mean, it really is like, if folks had not come in the room with as many beautiful ideas and willingness to learn, you know, we all know that this is like symbiotic, right? So we thank you for that. You made our work here very easy. I also just wanted to, for me, I was so struck by how much connection there is. You're talking about relationship skills and all of a sudden you're talking about self-management. You're talking about self-awareness and all of a sudden you're talking about responsible decision-making. How these are so deeply embedded together. And if you get the chance to focus on one, you are tangentially focusing on all. And like that is so comforting to know because it can feel overwhelming to also then teach content on top of this. And like, you know, we know what's important and what we need, but to know that you're hitting it, you're doing it, even if it's just one focus, you are actually doing a much bigger thing, which is so lovely. I think, yeah,
I just wanted, that just made me think, like, your guys' activity made me think about how you're talking about your culture, but in that you're talking about yourself, and in that you're seeing where similarities with other people in the room, with the relationships, and you know, so like,
100%.
Just made me think right on that. Yeah.
No, there were so many.
I can only imagine the semantics conversation that they had coming up with these competencies. And it was like, is it self-awareness? We're at the end of our session. I think we're at